Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Timberborn, Neo Olympus. So from where we left off, it's actually been an entire cycle. It's cycle 23, day 22. When we left off, it was like cycle 22, day 23, I believe. And what's happened and what's changed? Well, we finished that water tower, that our water storage. But also I took some very high protection against the bad tides, since they seem to be coming in quite often. I went ahead and I unlocked the irrigation barriers and I moved my tree farm back because I really just needed to protect the tree farm and then protect these berries, these lifeblood. We finished off this whole little barrier to try and hold back the bad tide over on this side, and it's slow going. I'm going to say it's slow going because, one, our population is not as high as I'd like it, but I don't want to overburden our food and everything to try and get our population up higher. And so, as you can see, what I was saying about this build, we have now moved our breeding pods up on top of the berry storage. Don't have to go very far to transport those berries there. And with the water being down here, I think that makes for a very efficient and optimal breeding pod placement. So what we're going to do in this episode is I'm just going to try and slowly work on finish this mine. The reason why I am trying so hard to finish this mine, besides the fact that I would really like metal, is that I want this mine to be underwater because I'm going to use this as a source of fresh water. So in case of an emergency, we'll be able to pump water out of here. It's going to take a while to fill up. I know that. But it's kind of my backup reservoir plan because it's going to take an extremely long time to set up a way to get rid of the bad tides when they come through out of these areas. Because unlike most maps, the water sources are not really close together. So you can't just make a cap that opens up or closes or a normal diversion system. That is going to take some time and some resources that we don't have at the moment. And so there's some things that I need to produce and the population that I need to be able to produce those things. So we are going to take our time and continue moving forward in the best possible way we can. All right, so let's get to it. Well, it is cycle 24, day 3, and our population has crested 50 because I turned our other breeding pod back on. So we will see how this maintains. Water's not going to be an issue. Food may be a slow issue, but I think we're going to be all right. So I will check back in as we are slowly changing things up and moving things around here. So it's cycle 24, day 9. We got another bad tide incoming. And I don't remember if I actually went over this, but I replaced the dams with floodgates. The reason why I replaced it with floodgates is it helps when a bad tide to help get all of the bad water out, to keep it flowing out, and maybe keeping it off of the level to try and combat against some of the contamination. And it's not really more than that. Not really a whole huge lot of things that's going to happen from it, but it was a little bit of effort to stave it off. And that's all I was trying to do. But 13 and a half day bad tide. At least we won't have to worry about our trees rotting away. Because, yeah, irrigation barriers. Wonderful things. So I think one thing I'm going to do in the interim, while I'm waiting on resources, is something that's not necessarily resource intensive, but I'm going to finish the last layer of this storage, just because you can never have too much storage, and if I do it now, I'm just waiting on resources to build up, so it's not so bad. So we're going to put our 3 high there, our 2 high here, and then of course stairs going up, up, yeah, didn't mean to put that there. And I was wrong. That's supposed to be another 3 high. What am... Oh, gosh. And then, of course, we're going to need our singles there for that eye. Our paths. And that's the last layer of our storage. I believe you can do one more. No, there's not a way to do one more. Unless you actually do it modular and you do them in a line, because then you connect paths between them and you could actually go up more levels. But other than that, no, not for a single one. And I'm still on paths. And we're actually just going to take these and put logs in them for now, because, yeah, that's our biggest resource that we need to have, because it is the backbone of everything else made out of wood. So, yeah, go ahead and set that up. They'll build it whenever they get to it, because they are over here working on the mine. Which, now that it's dry, I can actually go ahead and put the rest of the stairs in. I don't have to worry about them walking into some muck. So looking at this right here, this brings up one of my biggest issues with irrigation barriers. Is when you have a path, you can't put a path on top of an irrigation barrier. You can run an elevated path, because you can place a platform on top of an irrigation barrier. So you can run the path up above it, but you would have to do that in order to place irrigation barriers everywhere. Although I only lost a few trees compared to what I was losing before. In the grand scheme, it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of annoying. It's one of those things that bugs me. It's not a really big deal or anything. It just bugs me personally. Yeah, you might think I'm just being a little nitpicky, which I am. But, I guess that's a small complaint I have. Jiminy Christmas. Back-to-back bad tides. What I wouldn't give for an actual drought. Well, it is cycle 26 and day 3. And you're probably wondering, why, Coach, what in the shenanigans are you doing over here? Well, yeah, back-to-back bad tides. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. So what I'm doing at this moment, why did I do that? Yeah, so what I'm doing at this moment is I am going to create a new way to get around to put more of those irrigation barriers here on the ground, because that actually went way too far inland in that little area. And the makeshift irrigation barriers I made over here didn't protect as much as our kohlrabies as I thought it would. I mean, it still protected quite a bit, but not enough. Because as you can see, our food has gone down quite a bit. I did get 2 more mushroom hydroponics gardens, and that is helping to ease it out. I had also turned off our breeding pods, which is why our magic number is at 51 at the moment. It's just going to take time to even out, which, you know, time is one of those things I seem to have a lot of, because I'm just, while I feel like I'm pushing along at a snail's pace, I'm just slow and steady. Slow and steady. But they are getting there on the mine, which is great. But man, these bad tides, it's just like back to back to back to back bad tides. It's killer. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see a drought in my life. Well, it is cycle 26, day 15. We're well into our drought. And while our water is ticking down slowly, because I turned 2 of the pumps off, our food is going back up steadily. Yeah, 308 fermented mushrooms. The breeding pods are all back on, so our population should start ticking back up. And yeah, we're just waiting probably till the end of this drought before our population will come back up enough. Once it gets down to about 1.2K, I'll probably turn those other 2 pumps back on, just because I want to get as much pumping done in before we hit another bad tide, because the bad tides are coming very frequently at the moment. So there's that. Oh, I can turn this bad water pump off. That'll give me another beaver to go somewhere, because we're pretty full on bad water. And we're getting, well, we're not near full on explosives, but we're not really using them right now. So I could probably turn the explosives factory off too. We are almost at our number of gears we need. We're getting there with treated planks. That's going to take a little bit longer. I have put in more irrigation barriers to try and keep this stuff from dying off. So I got irrigation barriers over here. And I planted more trees where those irrigation barriers were, which I also need to make sure that those get cut down. Oh, yep, I already had it marked. Hooray for me. remembering that. Otherwise, they would have just been sitting there. And then the other thing I'm working on at the moment is this little nicety over here, which they are almost done with this. And because it has been pointed out to me that irrigation at the top of a hill flows downhill as long as the water is there, I decided to put another irrigation pond, man-made irrigation pond up here to allow this all to stay irrigated. So I'm actually just trying this out with this one. So the reason why I prefer to dynamite it out normally is simply because I gain more space around it with the dynamite. I'm trying this out, and if I feel like it will be more beneficial to just dynamite the 9x9, the 3x3 square out and just drop water into it, because I'm losing quite a few plots here. You know what? Maybe I should just go ahead and dynamite it right now. I mean, like, thinking about this logically, it's not like I'm hurting on the dynamite. And granted, I did spend the time to build this. Dynamiting it out wouldn't hurt in the slightest bit. I gain at least 12, probably 15 more plots for planting. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and do that. That kind of seems like a bit of a waste, but all I got to do is clean this up. And then we just need that, and hey, come pick all this stuff up. And bring dynamite when you come back. Yeah.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it is cycle 26, day 29, and an interesting thing happened. I was actually completely full on my logs. Now I am not, but I didn't realize, like, I had actually filled up all of my log storage. So I'm rushing this last portion of the storage over here because, yeah, I need storage for more logs because I have logs just sitting all over the place and they need some place to go. I never thought I'd have that problem. But we've got about 5 days left on this drought, so there's not too much to worry about. Water is steadily going back up now. Our crops are really, really good. So we will be able to get our beavers back up above 50 easily and actually maintain it. And I will show you why as soon as I get enough beavers to actually do some more the work that I need to get done. So I'll be back. It is cycle 26, day 33, and the sun is rising over our newest addition to our housing area. Nothing like the signature of what the Iron Tails do, and that is pound things with a hammer. So yeah, and this actually should help with our well-being because that covers a whole lot of the housing. So yeah, we're going to get a little bit of a boost to our well-being. And I really want to start working on our well-being as it goes because that is going to help us help our beavers work harder and live longer, which would be good for our population. I also need to come down to 16-hour work days again. I've came down to 18. I need to go back down to 16. So that way they get more time to enjoy their relaxation things, which will also bring up their well-being. And I think as soon as I get back up above 50, I may do that. But the reason why we won't have to worry about population as much is this over here. Or our food as much is this over here. So now this entire area is irrigated. It's going to be food. And I don't have to worry about contamination on this level because I doubt I'll see it. And I probably should have done this much sooner. But of course, I get laser focused and blinders on when I'm doing projects, which I'm sure some people do. Oh my gosh. You mean, no, we didn't fill up all that. We just probably don't have the haulers to carry all that stuff. Because it's sitting there saying no storage space is available. How about if I put that to supply other warehouses and maybe they'll put it in there and then take it? I don't know. But on this note, things are moving well. we've survived multiple bad tides, back-to-back bad tides, and we're now on a path of having much, much more food. I also am planting cassavas down here, which our third fermenter will come into play because this one can be fermented cassavas. And then we'll have another new food type. And once we get more beavers, that can go operational. It can go live. So, on that note, I think I'm going to end it here, overlooking our overwater colony, our downtown complex that is going to span out and become bigger as this goes on and continues. But this is the start of big things to come. So I will catch you in the next video. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment. Peace.